Hi everyone. So I've been getting a lot of questions, mostly from my mom, about why I'm not doing a better job of documenting this whole adventure of trying to train to swim the English Channel while living in China. And I was thinking about it, and it has been full of a lot of adventures and good stories, so I decided to make a vlog. So basically, backstory, I signed up to swim the English Channel. I signed up in November of last year, and at the time I was thinking it is going to be a lot harder to train for a swim like this while I'm living in China. Like if I was in the US, I would just be able to swim with a swim team that I know of and drive myself in my car to a lake. And these are things I can't do in China, but it's just been very rewarding to be able to figure out how to make it work and figure out a way while living here. So the English Channel is 35k or 23 miles, depending on the way that the current pushes you. It could be more, it could be less. And it's going to be very cold water, especially I'm swimming it at the end of June, which is one of the coldest times. And so basically right now I'm in the peak of training, so I'm supposed to be swimming at least 50k a week. So for example, no swim team in Shanghai. That's just for adults, not kids who are in school swimming. There's no master swim team here like there would be at home. So I realized that this was a problem, that a lot of people were looking for a swim team and there wasn't one. So I started my own swim team. Mostly foreigners, some Chinese, mostly triathletes. We're called the Shanghai Xiaolongsha, which is crawfish in Chinese. But that has helped so much, because then at least 2 times a week when we practice, I'm surrounded by other swimmers that I can swim with, and it's so much more encouraging. And I'm used to having a swim team in college of 30 girls who are all really motivating each other and working towards the same goal. So that's really helped. And then another struggle that I've encountered is in Shanghai we are on the ocean. We are surrounded by water, but somehow none of it you can actually swim in. The ocean is really dirty and polluted, and they just make it really impossible to just even get out to the ocean. And there are some lakes, but usually you're not allowed to swim in the lakes. So for example, I found a lake kind of close to my house that my Chinese friend said you can swim in. So he actually took me out there one morning really early. Great swim, we finished, left, no problem. The next weekend I go with one of my friends, and we went a little bit later in the day. So the security was on duty later in the day, and the security stopped us as we were about to dive in. He was like, "What are you doing? You can't swim here." And so in broken Chinese, we're just like, "Oh, I didn't know, sorry, I thought you can swim here." And then he was trying to tell us, "Oh, you can swim somewhere on the other side." So we just walked to the other side of the lake and dove in from there, and it was fine. Didn't see him again. The next weekend I went back, and I went with Alexa, my sister, and she was just sitting reading by the lake. She wasn't swimming. And so halfway through the swim, I look over and I see that there's a security guard just sitting next to my sister. I just started laughing. I was like, he is going to sit there and wait until I get out and yell at me and say there's no swimming. And I was like, oh, I can just tell him oh, last weekend the security guard said that you can swim. But then I got out and I saw that it was the exact same security guard as the weekend before that told me no swimming. So I kind of just laughed and I said, "Oh, my friend." So I spoke some Chinese to him. I tried my best. We laughed a little. I offered him some candy. And then I said, "Okay, see you next weekend." And I think it's one of those things that it's his job to tell you not to swim, but he's not actually going to do anything about it if you do swim. And so I think we're friends now, so I think it's okay. Another obstacle I ran into was I had a lot of questions, and not even just channel questions, channel swimming questions, but China specific. I wanted to know more places to train, what would be an effective place to train. So actually, through asking around and just asking people who referred me to someone else, who referred me to someone else, I got put in contact with a man who successfully completed the channel swim 2 years ago, a Chinese man who didn't speak English. So actually through a translator, I was able to meet with him and ask him a bunch of questions, and he helped me so much. He was so willing to just give me any knowledge that he could. And then I also got put in contact with a man named Mr. Wong, who's actually swimming the channel this summer as well. So he's swimming it in August, and this man, he doesn't speak any English either, but we are best friends. Like, we met for lunch one day, and I'm sure everyone in that room was so confused, like what was going on. We're like speaking Chinglish, like some English, some Chinese, and just like he pulls out a map of England and we're like pointing like, this is where we start, and like we're both just so excited and having the time of our lives. And all these other people at lunch were like, they can't even talk to each other, what's going on? But Mr. Wong has been so helpful. I told him one day that I needed to practice my night swimming, so I wanted to go swimming at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I was just asking him about it, and he was like, oh, I can drive you. Just meet me at this place at 3 o'clock and I can drive you. So I showed up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Wong is just smiling, like ready to go. He's like, okay, come on, get in the car. And he was injured at the time, and he was totally willing to drive me out to this lake an hour away and watch me swim for 4 hours, starting at 4 o'clock in the morning, ending at 8. And I was just so blown away. Just everyone that I've met, especially just like local swimmers, have been so helpful. And in my next video, I will talk about the 6-hour qualification swim that I did, which also another story about just people being so helpful. But it's been quite the journey, so thank you everyone who's sent me any supportive words. I've realized that whenever I talk to people that don't know me, just strangers who know that I'm swimming the channel, they look me up and down and have something negative to say, like, oh, are you sure you're ready to do a swim like that? Shouldn't you do some of the other easier channels first? Or like, I've been told a lot that I'm not fat enough, like I need to gain some body fat to protect myself from hypothermia and protect my organs, which I'm doing my best. I'm eating dessert every day, multiple times, and it's just, I'm burning a lot of calories. So if you know any ways that I can gain some body fat, let me know. But anyone who has trained with me before, or anyone who knows me well, is like, oh, you're gonna do great, you're gonna crush it. So it's just been awesome. So thank you everyone for the encouragement, and yeah, follow the videos I will be posting. My next one will be about the 6-hour qualification swim that I had to submit to the channel committee. So look out for that, and thank you for watching.